You're listening to Visibility Vixen, episode 18.
One of the best things for myself is doing that sort of very intentional time blocking.
Welcome to the Visibility Vixen podcast, where we create space to grow our brand with intention and clarity, one episode at a time. Join us as we explore the many aspects of entrepreneurship, start loving the journey instead of the destination, and begin building a legacy that lasts. Here's your host, Michelle Lewis.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we are talking to my friend Lauren Salaun. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm so excited. I'm super pumped about this.
I'm excited too. Let me give you guys a little bit of a history on Miss Lauren. Lauren is a nutrition and fitness expert, coach, and lifestyle entrepreneur. She believes that everyone deserves to live a life of their own design, which I totally agree with. Put simply, she's in the business of transformation. By helping people improve their health and fitness, Lauren helps people transform their lives. In addition to helping hundreds of people improve their fitness, she's also assisted many people in building part-time and full-time home-based businesses through health and wellness. You can find her at laurensalaun.com. Darling, I would love to start with how we met, because I think that it is so funny.
Yes, definitely. Do you want to take it away or?
Sure. So I was, skulking around Instagram, and I have no idea how I came across her profile, but I saw one of Lauren's pictures. I think I'd probably, looked at a certain hashtag or something, and I saw her and she was saying something like, I'm looking for fun places to eat in the Studio City, North Hollywood area. And I live in Toluca Lake. And so I was like, hey, commenting. And of course, she's got a wonderful Instagram, which we'll talk about later. So I'm like, the chances of her shouting me back are pretty slim, but I'm just going to tell her because I think these are good places to eat. And that is how it all started. She was like, oh, hey. And then we got together, and she and I have so much fun, especially on our Sunday hikes. And it has just kind of taken off from there.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, and it's the internet and Instagram, it's a wonderful place, and it's like a ridiculous and terrifying place sometimes. Yes. But it's so cool to be able to make those kinds of connections with people who maybe live nearby, like you and I are like 5 minutes away, or people who live across the world, and be able to build real relationships and friendships with people that you have, shared interests with. It's so cool. So yeah, I love that, because you never know. You stumble upon someone's picture and comment a little bit, and there you go. I have friends actually who similar type of Instagram situation and got married.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they met, through Instagram, liked each other's pictures and stuff. You never know, guys.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. So let's dive a little bit more into what you do. Talk a little bit about the business that you are in the process of building. Yes, I would love to. So I'm super excited because like Michelle, like you said in the beginning, I am super passionate about creating a life that revolves around the things that you are really passionate about and the things that you really love to do, whatever that might look like. And one of those things for me is health and fitness. I was an athlete my entire life, and I love working out and being able to use my body to the fullest and just pushing myself. I also very much like to eat and enjoy myself, but I really love, pushing my body and just feeling my best inside and out. And so my health and wellness business, I work with a company called Isogenics, and basically I help people reach their best health through improved nutrition and, getting on a workout plan, and just really so much of it is about, overcoming whatever those mental or emotional hurdles are, whatever that reason is that's prevented somebody from prioritizing themselves or their health before, helping people get past that and really change their lives. And so that's what I do, help people feel their best, look their best, and then in turn live their best lives. So
Well,
it's pretty exciting, and it doesn't feel like work because I get to talk to people all day long, and I wear workout clothes most of the time, like all day long, and I get to go to the gym as part of work and all that stuff. It's so awesome.
Well, and what I love about you is that you are not someone that's like, I need to weigh 100 pounds and be this tiny, tiny thing. You have a beautiful body, and you love to build muscle and to be lean. And I think that's why your Instagram, especially in the past couple months, has gone up by thousands. People really relate to what you do and how you're shaping yourself to be the healthiest person you can be.
Yeah. And I love my body, and I've always had a very, very healthy self-image, which I'm very thankful for that. My parents raising me to love my body in that way and all of that stuff. So that is great. And, but I by no means, there's so many people who have amazing bodies out there and stuff. So I never look at myself and be like, oh my gosh, I have a perfect body, anything like that. But I think no matter how fit you are, you can always get to the next level, whatever that may mean for you. And I love being able to be kind of a role model in that sense too for people, because like you said, I love being fit and pushing my body, and at the same time, I also really love to eat and enjoy myself. And I think it's all about balance too. So I might spend a ton of time at the gym and may tighten up on what I'm eating if I have a photo shoot or something coming up that I want to be really ripped for. But then I'm also going to be like, hey, this place has really amazing burgers. My friend's in town. Let's go. Let's do this. Dominate some burgers. I'm not against eating big too. And so I think it's all about balance and having people resonate with that is so cool, because this is stuff that I'm passionate about and that I believe in, and having that touch other people in some way that's really meaningful is awesome. And when people say, oh, I want to, the way that you look, and since you don't do crazy dieting or this stuff, I want to that's one of my goals, to go in that direction. That's a really it catches me off guard all the time, because I would never think that, because I think I'm a pretty normal person. But it's really cool to be able to help people, kind of go for their best selves in that sense.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about your Instagram. Can you take us on that journey of how you started and kind of how you've built it over the past couple of years?
Yes. So I remember because for a while I had an Android phone, and before Instagram was even on Android. Yeah, that's I feel so old saying things like that. But that wasn't that long ago, really, within the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so I remember not being able to have Instagram because I had a Droid, and I was so upset about that, because I love photo stuff. I'm very creative as well, so I love just I felt like I was definitely missing out. There's a lot of FOMO going on with not being able to have Instagram. And then got it, and it's by far my favorite social media platform. I love Instagram and Snapchat are my top two. And so it kind of started as just documenting kind of life moments and things like that, but it's definitely evolved into something that is a lot bigger than that, and used to really get that message out there. And with my Instagram, I don't take it too seriously by any means. I like people to be able to get a real picture of who I am and what I'm about. And that comes with the dorky, ridiculous moments, and then the serious, hard work moments. And if I'm having a bad day, I'll talk about that on Instagram too. I'll throw the occasional workout video up there. So I like to be pretty transparent and real on my social media, and specifically Instagram, of course. But also thinking about it as, as a tool to connect with people, you know, and that's one of my big passions, is connecting people, like I said, and helping them change their lives. And so being able to use Instagram to just reach even more people is so cool. So I definitely think about it, you know, intentionally, what I'm posting and what I'm sharing and all of that, but I am very, very aware of, and always work to be very much myself and very transparent with it. And so much of the time, I mean, growing your Instagram, you know, it's a lot about what kinds of content you're posting out there. Like, let's be real. I'm sure my following would grow faster if I was posting a lot of pictures of me with not very much clothes on, like, like being perfectly honest, but
of course
that's not really my brand or what I'm all about. But it's about, like, you know, being real, being genuine, and connecting with people too. So even if you've got a really big following, you know, commenting back to people, like noticing who those people are that are always liking your pictures or always commenting on your pictures, and connecting with them. Because, yeah, we're all like using our phones and doing this through the internet, but we're real people behind the phones too. So getting to know your peeps and making those real connections is a big part. And the other thing, like, dude, I'm on Instagram all the freaking time. That's another thing that helps. It's my favorite social media platform, so I use it a ton.
Absolutely.
Whether that's looking at other people's pictures, posting my own stuff, you name it. I spend probably too much time there.
Well, hey, we all got to do what we got to do. And
yeah, exactly.
I would love to hear, because I know that you are very intentional in your day-to-day of building not only your body, but your business. Can you take us through some of your favorite daily habits that you think are really helping you with your success?
Yes, for sure. So it's funny because I love, one of the reasons why I work for myself and I do my own thing is because I love having the control to choose and the choice to spend my time, my energy, like, with who I want to spend it with, where I want to spend, you know, my time, and doing what, you know. So the who, the where, the what, and the why. I love being in control of all that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing every day. And so I like having that flexibility in my life and in my schedule. But at the same time, I really also like to have a routine. So I like to have that structure, but then be able to break away from it at any point, or with really short notice, or whatever the case may be, but still have that, like, you know, familiar structure to fall back on and to kind of run my day to day. And so what that generally looks like during the week is I get up around 6:30 every morning, and I used to, until a year ago, I was not a morning person. I made some changes in my nutrition and stuff, and have become, like, even more, you know, energetic and, like, productive and all that stuff, like, even more than I was before, which is, like, I feel superhuman now. But yeah, so I get up at about 6:30 a.m. and I make a shake for breakfast, and I make one for my husband as well. And then I'll have my shake while I check on my emails and kind of go through what I need to do for the day. I use that kind of, like, 30-ish minutes to have my breakfast, kind of see what's going on for the day, and kind of mentally get prepared for the day and what that looks like. And then I spend about an hour or an hour and a half doing work. So usually from, like, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., I get some work done. And then I take a break around 9 a.m., 9:30, take a break and go work out for about 2 hours. So the 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. window is, I mean, I take a break. My gym time counts as work time. So it's really like I'm taking a break from actually the work on my computer or the phone calls or whatever the other work might be. And then I go to the gym and put my work in there in that way. And I love doing that because that way when I get to the gym, I know I've already gotten, you know, I know what what's coming up for the rest of the day. I've already taken care of anything that's urgent before that. So I can really go to the gym and focus on my workouts. And I'm a very extroverted person, so I also need a lot of other human interaction. And so working for yourself, sometimes that's really challenging because I work from home a lot of the time, and it's great because I can be very, very productive and get my stuff done and be very efficient with my time. But then I do need, like, every couple hours, I need to kind of mix it up or get on the phone or something. Sometimes even going back to social media, if I'm feeling like I've been in the house working all day, I'll like spend like 5 minutes. I swear, my poor Snapchat followers, like I'll spend like 5 minutes just talking at people on Snapchat and just like telling everything that's gone on in my day, just because I need some sort of outlet in that way. But yeah, so I spend a couple hours at the gym, come home, I make some lunch and spend a little bit of time. Well, I make some lunch. I do take a shower as well. And then I'll spend a couple more hours doing some work from home. And then I usually end up taking a break in the afternoon and I go work somewhere else, whether that's a coffee shop around the corner, a cafe, maybe a friend's house, just to break up my time like that. And so for me, that time blocking is really great. Like, I love that structure, but then at the same time, I can also decide, if something comes up tomorrow that's really neat that I really want to do, or a really great opportunity, I can decide like, oh, you know what, we're going to totally jack up my whole schedule and do that instead. So I like having that structure, but being able to like toss it out the window if I ever need to. So for me, time blocking is really huge. I also, and I've heard a lot of conflicting perspectives on this. Some people are like, oh, do the little things that you can just take care of in like 2 seconds. Do those first, and then they're not in your head anymore. But I am a bigger fan of doing the important work first too, and now I'm kind of going to contradict myself, because in the mornings before the gym, I'm just woken up. I like to just crank out a few quick things for about an hour, and then maybe spend 1 hour of really focused work on something that may require more of my attention, because I know before 9 a.m. I'm not going to be getting many texts or phone calls or emails from other people. So I know that that's time that I can have that'll be pretty uninterrupted. So I'll spend a little bit of that time doing the quick one-off things and taking care of those little extra tiny details and things that take like 1 or 2 minutes or 5 minutes here and there. And then we'll spend some more focused time. And then in the afternoon, a little bit more of that, kind of settle back in, spend some time doing the quick things, and then really dive in with those big time chunks. Because I think that's, and focusing, going back to what I was saying, focusing on the bigger things, like the more important work. Because sometimes, you'll have a day where you do 500 tiny things that you're like, oh, I just have to do this, or I just have to email that person, and then call this, and then it all like, but 100 5-minute things, I don't do a lot of math, but that's a lot of time. That sucks up your whole day doing a bunch of little activities. And then sometimes you're like, well, shoot, I had the whole afternoon to be able to really focus on this project. And I was so excited to focus really on that one project. And I spent the whole time like crossing off a ton of small things that are really could have waited until tomorrow. And so that's where I like to make sure, that I really prioritize those bigger, more important things, because when you're looking at where you are today and where you want to go with your goals, it's that consistent effort. It's not really going to matter if, in 6 months you like did all those little things on time necessarily, but if you didn't put the time in every day on the bigger things that really matter, that's where it'll get you, and you won't really see that progress down the road.
Absolutely. Well, and the little things
I just talked a lot. That was
That's okay.
a long
No,
answer.
I think that it's a really good thing to walk people through that, because for me, my husband works in TV, so his sleep schedule is all over the place. He can have 7 a.m. calls Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, he could have 1 p.m. calls. So I try to structure my time to, if he has a later call, to be around him a little bit more, like you said, make the smoothie and do that kind of stuff. And it can throw a wrench into it, so that by the time I've recorded a couple podcasts and then sat down to do some work, it's 2:00 and I'm tired and I have to accomplish all the little things. And then, I try to set everything down by 6. So I try to be done by 6. And then you just sit there going, oh my gosh, did I accomplish anything big today? So I think it's really good to develop those time chunks and to really be, I don't want to say selfish, but I want to say kind of like really protective of your time block, so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish and move forward slow and steady, but always moving forward.
Yeah. And that's something too that you have to, you being protective of it from other people, wanting time from you at that point, but also yourself, because I will do that so much. Like, I have this chunk of time reserved for whatever activity, and then I'll be like, well, this is going a little longer. I'm going to do this instead, and so being disciplined with yourself too. But I've found that one of the best things for myself is doing that sort of very intentional time blocking, and I change that every couple months, because as other things come up that are at set times, I may have to shift things around, but I do that. What stays very consistent is the early morning work time and then the gym time. And then I kind of play around with what the afternoon looks like and what those activities will be specifically. And I think that's one of the hugest things, kind of planning out that time and really sticking to it.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit to the ladypreneurs out there. As we both know, we've spent time feeling frustrated, feeling invisible, and getting discouraged. So for the people out there that are feeling that way today, what's the number one piece of encouragement you'd like to give them?
Oh, dude, what is it? I think that if you are passionate enough about what you're doing and you put in enough time, that you not only can make money doing it, but I think that you can become very successful and build a very profitable and fulfilling, which is, I think, more important, a very fulfilling business with that. And that's something that, you look at what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it, and just be reminded of what that reason is on those days when you're feeling kind of crappy, or when everyone said no, or when nothing's working out and you feel like you're just keep striking out, to remind yourself, okay, it's okay. Like, this is just right now. This isn't how it's going to be forever. And then looking at that and stepping back and seeing, okay, well, why is this happening? Is there something I need to learn to solve this problem, or any adjustments I make with the conversations I'm having, or whatever that might be. And if there are adjustments you need to make on your end to kind of turn things around. But yeah, I would say, getting discouraged, like, being an entrepreneur is a lonely road, because you're often, even if you work with people, it's very self-motivated, and you're relying on your own skills and drive and determination. And that's not to say that you should do everything yourself. I'm a huge fan of delegating, having a team, having people that can help you out and that you can lean on, for sure. And I have an excellent team and mentors. So I'm very blessed in that sense with an awesome team. But sometimes, you've got to put your dig your heels in and really grind and get the work done. And sometimes it's not fun when it's Friday night and you're working late and doing emails, and your friends might be going out or something, or it's Saturday, and instead of like doing whatever, doing nothing, or just like going to the beach all day or the pool all day on Saturday, I'm treating Saturday just like a Friday and spending time getting a lot of work done, and I say that with myself, like it's a bad thing. I love
what I do. I love working every day, and I usually give myself Sundays off, like, completely. But yeah, it can be a lonely road being an entrepreneur, and it can be very challenging. And I think as long as it's in your heart what you really want to be doing and what you feel like you're meant to be doing, that can keep you going. And just to remind yourself of that reason, the why, your big why, reminding yourself of that all the time. And I think to do that, if talking about the why and motivation and stuff, you've got to have those huge goals, like whatever your big fat why is, the why that makes you cry, whatever that big one is, you've got to have that. And then whatever your big goal is, you've got to have that too. But you also have to have little ones along the way. Yeah. You have to have the little whys and the little goals. So, for someone in health and fitness, like if they're making changes in their life with that reason, like the big reason could be like, they want to regain their confidence and they haven't felt good about themselves like their whole lives or something, and they just really want to not be the person they've been for X many years, or whatever the case may be. And then a small why might be, hey, I want to go down one pant size. That's the first milestone, And so when you're looking at those two things, like transforming into a whole new person versus going down one pant size, like, that's that big reason that'll keep you going for a long time. But those little reasons keep you going on the short term, and you just keep chipping away at those things. And same thing for being an entrepreneur, whether my goal is like, yeah, I want to build this business to $1 million, and I very much plan to. But that, like, from where I am now and building $10 million, I've got some time and I've got some work to put in. But if I say, okay, well, then the first goal, this is going to be to 6-figure mark. Okay, much more doable than $1 million right now. Not more doable, but your brain can kind of process that a lot more. So so you keep that big fat goal and that big fat why in your mind, but then you also need to have those little ones along the way that keep you motivated with it. And I'd also say, like, having a good tribe and good group of people who can keep you motivated and hold you accountable and encourage you. And these people don't have to work with you. They don't have to work in the same industry as you, but surrounding yourself with other, specifically entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur, surrounding yourself with other people like that is huge, because you guys, what each other are going through. You may be working in very different industries with very different businesses, but you get each other in that sense. And so when stuff gets tough and things feel really shitty, you can like vent to each other and look to the other people to kind of help get you back on track with all that.
Yeah. Well,
and another thing too, like, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
If you've got like a song that really pumps you up, like for me, like throw on some Beyonce and feel like you're going to take over the world. Something as small as that, or listen to a few motivational speeches from like Tony Robbins or something. Pull those things up when you're feeling kind of crummy. And then sometimes I can just like, it sparks that, it turns that fire up a little bit more when you need it.
I think that's a really good point. I think you have to know yourself. Like, my husband and I talk about it, and I call it the Snow White versus the witch. And I'm not offending anybody here. I'm just telling you, with me and my husband is a Snow White. So he wakes up and it's a new day and the birds are singing and life is wonderful and it's all love and fairies and ponies. I wake up and I'm like, ugh, and clawing my way to my iced tea and those kinds of things. So he tends to be much more of a natural optimist. And I think, Lauren, you're more of a natural optimist too. I tend to go into more of a natural pessimist. So since I know that about myself, just like Lauren's saying, hey, these are the things that work for me to keep me out of the rut, to keep me going, you have to analyze that about yourself. So if you are a little bit more of a pessimist like me, you really need to get up and focus first on your mindset. You need to fill yourself up. You need to get in the right place, because otherwise you'll see your whole day of work as the cup half full. And so
Right.
I really think that that's an important thing, to know yourself and protect yourself. Put those security things in place like Lauren's talking about. Have the people you can reach out to. Have your different daily routines that really bring you joy, and have lifelines so that if you're really struggling, you'll force yourself to verbalize that with someone that you know you're safe with. So I think that's great.
And another thing on that line too is that gratitude. That is that's so important. When things are crappy, when things are awesome, always making a consistent effort to reflect on the things that you're grateful for. And when things are crappy, that could be like, oh, I was able to buy myself lunch today, you know, or like, I don't know what it could be. Or I'm like, I'm not sick today. Cool. You know, like on some days those can be harder than others. But keeping that, like being grateful all the time and reflecting on that, like if you can every day, like set some time aside to do that, or at least once a week, really have some time to like chill out, reflect on how your week's been and what's going on in your life, and pick out 3 things that you're really grateful for.
I think
that's for when things are good and when things are bad.
Yeah. I have a little gratitude journal, and every day I put down my 3 requests and my 3 gratitudes, because, you know, it's such an amazing practice, and you can actually go back and look at the requests that were answered, and it's really a wonderful thing to do. So as we wrap this up, my dear,
do something like that.
I know, it's really, it's a powerful thing to do. So as we wrap this up, let's talk about what you are offering today to our listeners and where we can find you.
Yes. Well, as you already said, you can find me at laurensalaun.com. That's LaurenSalaun.com. And then as a little freebie for everybody listening in, I am happy to offer a free 30-minute health and wellness consult session. So we get on FaceTime or on the phone and talk through what your goals are or struggles are when it comes to health and fitness, and I can give you some tips there. And plus, I have a few really awesome 30-day nutrition programs, whether you're looking to lose weight, build muscle, get more energy, whatever you're looking for. If you're an athlete and you want better physical performance, you name it, I've got programs that I can customize to help you reach your goals with that. And if you end up signing up on one of my 30-day systems, following that, initial 30-minute session, the free session, I will give you 30-minute phone or video fitness coaching sessions once a week during your first 30 days. So you'll get, if you sign up on my program after the 30-minute consult, you'll get a weekly 30-minute virtual training session for the first month.
Awesome. Well, that is so cool. You'll get, it's like listening to this podcast. You'll get Lauren in your ear once a week, which as her friend, I can tell you is amazing.
Or even like Skype and FaceTime. I love Skype and FaceTime. So we can do this, like we can get real, even realer.
Oh, I love that. So you guys, I highly recommend emailing Lauren. I'll put all of her links below in the show notes. So just hit full description and you'll see all of them. They are clickable, so it's very easy. And book this whether or not you think you should, because just having a connection with a fellow female entrepreneur that is constantly raising her vibration, constantly achieving more, you want that in your circle. So chat with her, talk to her about what your upcoming goals are, and I guarantee that it will be worth your time. So thank you so much for offering that, Lauren. That's amazing.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I hope this has been inspiring for everyone listening. I hope it's just been feeling like you're sitting down at coffee with 2 of your best friends. I know that's how I feel whenever I'm with Lauren. So we are going to have another awesome episode coming up for you next week. But in the meantime, sit down after this podcast and list your gratitudes today. And honey, we will see you later, and I'm sure you'll be back on the show soon.
Awesome. I would love to. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, stay tuned.
Thanks for listening in today to the Visibility Vixen podcast. Subscribe now and share with a fellow Vixen who wants to start building their visibility. For more fire in your life and brand, visit visibilityvixen.com.